Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Please remember, once you come in, if you could please turn on your cameras. Okay, we're gonna give it another minute or so for people to come on in, and then we will get started with today. How's everyone doing? It's a day 3. Yeah, nice. Okay, Don, thanks. Yeah, things are fine. Everybody's doing okay? Yeah, nice. I like it. A lot of thumbs up, a lot of okay. Good. Good morning, Tom. Okay, I'll give it about one more minute and hopefully we can get a few more folks in here. We've been consistently missing a good number every day, so I'm hoping that that ends soon. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, everyone. Good morning. It's great to see everybody. Here we are in day 3, and this is our second advising session. I do want to make sure before we get started, I actually want to start with some updates and reminders. So a couple of things when it comes to absences, or we understand that Summer Bridge this year being remote has to be a bit flexible. So we absolutely understand that, but I do want to really reiterate and make it very clear that you are only allowed to be excused or have an excused absence for good reason. You absolutely have to go to work. It's something that's really vital, or you have a doctor's appointment, something along those lines where you miss. If you're like, oh, I'm just tired, or I slept in or something, like that's a little different. We can't excuse that, mainly because Summer Bridge is 1 credit. So in order to receive that credit, you do have to participate and you do have to make sure all your work is done. So I do want to make sure that you understand that it's not as flexible as checking in and checking out as you want, but more so it's about being responsible and really just showing up as an adult and making sure like, hey, I got things to do. I'm sorry this came up or whatnot. And when those things do come up and when they do happen and you can't be here, all you have to do is email me and the Summer Bridge email. So if you want to go ahead and email me and then CC the Summer Bridge email, that's great. Check in with your faculty. Their office hours are on our Canvas page, so you can locate them there and just let them know, okay? I know that it had come to light to me that a couple of assignments, the due dates had changed or something rather with the faculty. So we're going to speak with them about that, make sure that everything is nice and open, the assignments are open for you, so you can turn those in. As we have reiterated, Summer Bridge this year is a bit more flexible, so you can get those assignments done on your own time and turn them in when you can. So we are going to talk to the faculty about that. So try not to overstress, but thank you for letting us know. Always make sure you're in communication with us so that we can help you with things like that. Okay, so those are the big things there. Now, the other thing that I really wanted to talk about was drop-ins and appointments, one-on-ones with me. So does everybody have access to the advising sheet, the one-on-one advising sheet? Thumbs up if you have access to it, if you've noticed that you have access to it. Okay, great. So it's not mandatory, but I am going to just put it out there. I would love to see all of you one-on-one, just to talk to you. You don't even have to have a question. We could just kind of get to know each other. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and sign up. And the tabs, just so you know, at the bottom of that sheet, there are little tabs, and each tab is a day. So you're going to move over to the third tab since it's now the 24th. And then that's where you will input your name for a slot, okay? So just make sure you're aware of that there are little day tabs and you're on the right day, okay? So those are some major things that I just wanted to reiterate and talk to you about there. So making sure that you're doing the signups and you're doing them correctly. Now that business is out of the way, now we are going to talk a little bit more as a group collectively. Today's theme overall is what makes a successful college student? Now, I'm curious, what do you think makes a successful college student? So if you can go ahead and unmute yourself, and then you can go ahead and speak, just like raise your hand and speak. And then I won't need to call on you. You can just, this is kind of also a thing in listening. So listen for your fellow classmates who are speaking, try not to talk over them, and then jump in when it's silent. So what do you think makes a successful college student? What is your idea, or what do you think that looks like? What does that person do?
He's on top of every assignment.
On top of every assignment, I like it.
They have to know how to manage their time properly.
Time management, good.
They prioritize school over other things.
Engaging with their peers and with their teachers.
They are organized.
Organized, good. Let's hear one last comment. Someone who hasn't spoken yet.
Being able to work with others.
Being able to work with others, great, awesome. I love what I'm hearing here, yeah. So organization, being on top of your work, collaboration with others, putting your best foot forward with faculty, and with making sure that you are connecting with the people who are here to help you. Those are all super great. Those are great things that will help you become a successful college student. Now, I'm sure all of you, as you have all made it to college, if you all have been accepted into a university, all of you have done really well in school. But I'm sure not everyone has done their best in all of those things. Am I right? Because we're not perfect. We're absolutely not perfect. And that's totally okay. And you're never going to be perfect, because that's the best part. Nobody is. But you want to try. And that's the point that I get across here, is to be a successful college student. The number one thing that you need to do is try. You have to do your very best. And your very best is going to differ every day. It's going to be maybe super stellar one day, and maybe the next day you just don't have the energy, but it's your best and you're still giving what you got. That's what a successful college student does, especially one who is a person of color, from a low income background or first generation. Those are things that you absolutely need to consider, is just giving your best, because the only person you're in competition with is you. The only person who is going to be successful is you. And it's all up to you now. You're an adult. You don't want to go to class? You don't have to. You don't want to do your work? You don't have to. It's making a choice to. It's making an absolute choice. Same thing with getting to know your professors. Now, I know that's a little hard because it's intimidating. People are shy. You may be in really big lectures that are like 100+ people, and it's intimidating. But getting to know them so you're not just one face in that crowd is everything, because they'll remember you. As a faculty member, every time you make a connection with a student, you remember them. When they're not there, you check in on them. When things happen, you want to help them. And that's the main thing, making sure you're making those connections. So I would say the biggest thing for you as a student to be successful at Sonoma State is A, always try, and B, networking. You want to network. You want to network your butt off, okay? You want to make sure that those are the things that you're doing. And part of that networking is with the people right here, like everybody here. You have so many great co's, you have your awesome bridge leaders, you have me, and we definitely are here to support you. My cat's here to support you. It's great. Like, we definitely want to make sure that you know you got people in your corner. And no man's an island. That's just the truth of it. Nobody's an island. We all need people, and people can help really guide us through the things that we're not sure about, or we can guide others and when we know something, and that's really good. So those are some main things that I really wanted to bring up here. Now, one of the other things that I want to do is, I could sit up here and talk to you all day about what success looks like in college, what a successful student is in college. But I think it's better to hear from actual college students who are going through it currently and what that looks like in a remote setting. How has this been? I'm sure all of you in general, you've all been students in this remote setting now. Maybe not at Sonoma State, but I'm sure it's been tough, that transition. Now you're going to hear from your bridge leaders, and they're going to talk a little bit about some tips, tricks, or things that they have that they've learned through their process here at SSU. So I'm going to popcorn over to Bella.
Hey guys, so yeah, I did the remote setting for the spring semester, which was interesting to me because in high school, I specifically picked a school that didn't have a lot of online options because I hated online classes. Like, it did not work for me in high school, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working for me in high school. I was trying to take college classes and it just was not it. And then they were like, okay, well now you have to be online, so figure something out. And it was really tough for me in the beginning to figure out a pattern and a scheme that would make me successful. But like she said, reaching out to your faculty. At Sonoma, I was always told that I'm way too close to teachers, like that I love to talk to my teachers, that I would always stay after class to discuss more topics with them. But because of that, it made it so much easier to transition into online learning because I still had those connections with my teachers. I still had them reaching out being like, hey, I saw that you couldn't complete this assignment. Is there something that we can do to like fix this? Or like, hey, you haven't been talking as much in Zoom meetings. Everything good? And I was able to recover a lot because I had those connections with my faculty. So I would highly recommend get to know your faculty. All the teachers I've had are amazing. So hopefully you guys discover the same thing about your teachers. The other thing is I learned that you can't stay in your bedroom the whole day. It just doesn't work. You try to do all your work in your class in your bedroom, and you try to do all your meals in your bedroom, and everything happens in your bed. You're just not going to be as productive as you want to be. So just like taking a walk every once in a while, changing up where you're learning, or just like creating a space that's outside of your room to do your online learning helps so much. I hope that's helpful. And then I think I answered all the questions. I'll popcorn over to Riley.
Hello and good morning again. So I think I've shared with my team, I came from a independent charter school where a lot of it was like me learning alone online. I haven't done that in like 3 years or something, so the transition was a little bit rougher than I expected. Like Bella, I wanted to stay in bed or on my couch all day and like not go outside and just like sit. I learned very quickly that that wasn't the most productive way for me to get things done. I'm very much like a last minute procrastinator, but it was way worse after remote learning hit. But I learned that like if I diversify my activities and like give myself the chance to breathe within doing homework, it was really good. In college, I always heard about this technique where you do like 15 minutes on homework and then you give yourself a little break and like do something you enjoy. But during remote learning, this is like what saved me and what made me able to like finish out the semester strong. I also agree that like the connections to my faculty were like huge. That transition made it so much easier because they were like, I know you're a good student, so you need to just like push through and like you got this. And that support was just incredible. It's not impossible. You just have to put some work in. Yeah. Popcorn over to Matthew.
Good morning, everyone. And I agree with what Bella and Riley said. When being home and being online, I didn't really have a choice. I had to do it in my bed, and I kind of took too many units. You can ask Erica about that one. I did spend all of my time in bed doing homework, and I really wasn't productive. It was hard. So if like take a walk if you can, if don't know how quarantine and everything is in your area, but do find something that can at least help you, because it's going to be stressful. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to be hard, but you got to find something. I chose, because I wasn't really able to leave my room, I would just like put my homework aside and just listen to music, take a 30-minute nap or something just to recharge. My high school didn't do any online learning. Actually, I didn't spend any time on computer really ever until I came to college. So, but Riley, Bella, and I have now had a semester online with college courses. So anytime this fall you need help, need some advice, please feel free to reach out. We are here. Erica is amazing. She'll help you in any way she can. So you have our emails, our numbers, so please just reach out with whatever you need.
Great, thanks.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah, go for it.
I think another huge thing just to get through college in general, and like when I think of a really well-balanced, successful college student, is like self-care. Like you got to listen to yourself and your needs while also like balancing schoolwork and balancing work, because that's what's going to make you successful, you know, putting yourself like first, whatever that looks like.
Absolutely. I would totally agree with everything that was said here. Those are some really big tips. So one of the things that we're going to really, and it goes in great with what we are going to be talking about next, which is what does that success look like online? How do you deal with remote learning at the college level? So to start off, we're going to watch a little YouTube video. It's one of my favorite ones because now more than ever, I'm not even gonna lie, your writing skills are so important. And as an English teacher, I'm like, yes, I'm all for it. Not even gonna lie about it. This is one of the biggest things. More important than an essay is gonna be how you write an email. So we're gonna watch a little thing on that. So we're going to go ahead and share sounds. Okay, cool. So here we go, y'all. Let's see.
missing class from Cartman Rules 99 at yahoo.com. Hey, hey yourself. Probably not the best way to start an email to a professor for the first time. You may want to put maybe the professor's name here, dear Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. Okay, I am in your class this semester, but I've missed the first 4 days due to some unexpected problems with work and family. Wink. Okay, first of all, if your class has met 4 days, that's either 1 to 2 weeks, and you probably should have emailed me earlier with this. Plus, a wink, that's to imply that something in the previous sentence, there was an innuendo or something cute in it, and I can find neither. It's like putting quotes around work and family. I would like to, number 2, make up the work if letter U. See, this is just laziness. You've saved yourself 1 to 2 keystrokes by doing this, but it says more about your character and commitment to work by typing this in our first impression here. I would like to make up the work if you can send me the syllabus and the handouts. Thank you. Okay, again, we're 1 to 2 weeks into class now, and you're asking me for the syllabus and the initial handouts. You might want to see if that was available online, because most college professors have online presences where you can check this. And also if I missed any important info. Okay, luckily we've only been watching YouTube videos of kittens since you've missed class. Are you kidding me? We've seen 4 to 8 hours of content. I don't know how I can give that to you in this email. And obviously you haven't done anything for the class yet. I don't even know where to begin. Okay, how is this going to end here? Will we be needing the book this semester because I am on a budget? LOL. You caught me there. I only assign the book to cost people money and pain and suffering. Are you kidding me? I give you the book because that's where the problems come from. That's where the information comes from. I assign the book because I know it's important and I know books are expensive.
Okay, so did everybody get the gist of that? Like, I'm just curious here. Hold on. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, so what were your impressions of that video and of that email?
It was informal.
Let's see. Dom, you had a comment in here? Let's see. Where did the chat go?
Yeah,
Okay, what did you say, sweetie? Sorry.
I said that he sounded kind of passive aggressive in the video because he was
How'd
like,
that-
because like he was I don't know if that was the right word to use, but he was like I don't know if it was because he's talking super loud or he sounded really mad about this. Maybe because that was the point of the video, but I don't know.
How did that make you feel as a student?
That I should probably start sending my emails more, especially if it's the first time, like make them more formal because I don't want my professors to have the wrong idea about me.
Did anyone else feel a little scared or a little like, oh, that was a lot? Anybody else feel that way? Anyone else have any thoughts on the video? Why would it be important to write a good email or a well-written email? Why is that important?
It makes it easier to read, and the professor knows that you're straightforward and serious about business.
Yeah. Alejandro, what do you think? Why would it be important?
I think it's important in order to be respectful, because I feel like it is kind of disrespectful to write an email in another way that's not formal.
So I'm curious then, why is formality important upon first meeting? Why should you be formal?
It kind of shows that you have respect for the professor and that you respect his time, and then, yeah.
Alexis, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like also like important to be respectful so you can build a bridge with them. Like when you need when like something goes on and you don't have the time to make up for it, so you could just talk to them.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I would absolutely agree. So yeah, he did come off a bit aggressive, right? And the professor did. And rightfully so. There have been many times where I've like looked at an email and I've been like, what? Like, I don't even understand. And it's so many reasons why. It's not just that it's a casual email, it's that the student showed that they were not serious at all. A lot of LOLs, a lot of happy faces. You're talking about that you're struggling to pay for your books and that you have to work and you have family issues. Those aren't funny. How is that funny? Like, that's not funny. That's serious. That's, hey, Erica, I need some help. Like, that's what that is. So always making sure it's tone. And I'm going to have you write that down. So if you have a pen and paper, if you can type it out right now, email etiquette. Rule number 1, tone. Make sure you're writing the correct tone. The correct tone is the same thing as when you first meet somebody, when you meet someone new, right? What do you do when you meet somebody new in person? Can anybody tell me?
You introduce yourself.
You introduce yourself. What else? How do you greet them?
Formally with a handshake.
Thank you, Adon. If anybody has any trouble on etiquette and meeting people, Adon's your man. Yeah, exactly, right? So if you're looking at an email as your digital way of meeting people, which it 100% is, especially right now in this remote setting, you want to make sure that you're starting off, hi, my name is Erica. Okay, Erica, why is that important? Oh, Erica who? There's a million Ericas. Okay, so it's like, hi, my name is Erica Mullicane, and I am your academic advisor, right? You want to state who you are and what you're doing. So for all of you, I highly recommend within that first week of class, you email your professors politely and kindly and introduce yourself, letting them know you're excited about their class. Then if you have questions that you hope that you can go to them, if email is the best way, or should you come into your drop-in hours, that type of thing, letting them know that you're eager. That is a great first impression. That is the best way to go. If you know that you won't be in class, maybe you have some sort of vacation coming up in October, maybe there's something happening and your sister is in labor and you're going to be going to Texas for a week or something like that, then you definitely want to email professors in advance. Make sure that you're saying, hi, my name is blah, 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 and I am in your class, la, la, la. I just wanted to let you know during the week of October, and then you put the dates, I will not be present. Is there anything I can do to turn in work early or have an extension on a due date for something? Okay, you always want to be courteous and ask if you can do something in advance, or if that doesn't work, if you can get an extension. So those are some major things that are going to help you. And now with this, my very last thing on this email etiquette thing, it's not just words, okay? It's not just words. When you write it, you mean it. my mantra, my favorite thing anyone has ever taught me that has literally changed my entire life is that it's not real until it's written. Okay? Ideas, plans, all those things, they are not real until they are written. So when you write something, that's your word. Keep your word, be impeccable, and have integrity. All right, those are key things that are going to help you in college. And Riley had written something in the chat about Mr. Andre Bailey saying to her cohort that it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. Yeah, it is about who knows you. You want to make sure that those professors, those faculty members, your resources know you and that they know you for good reason. You do not want to be known as being lazy or slacking off. You want to be known as taking initiative. You want to be known as being serious. Those are things that you want to do. And then in turn, in those moments when you need support or help or you're struggling, they'll help you. They will always help someone who's helping themselves. I promise you that. Okay? So always remember those things. Those are some successful tips and tricks. Now, on a more practical level, does anyone have any questions about like how do you keep up with due dates or anything? Or is there anything that you're curious about? What is it like to be in college or being a student or buying books? Does anybody have questions? Nope. Whole lot of nada? Yeah? So funny. Okay, so yeah, communication is key. And learning remotely is a little bit tough. Now, how many of you actually did the work yesterday and you went and looked at that Instagram page and looked at our About Us on our Canvas page? How many of you saw that? Okay, so a few of you have. Okay, remember that's on your own time. You want to make sure you get it done by Friday though, okay? Just FYI, make sure you get those things done. But I'm gonna remind you, if you take a look at our Instagram page, we actually have some really great tips from our promotores. So the cool thing about Puerta is we have student assistants and we call them promotores, okay? And they literally go out and they promote Puerta and they promote student success at SSU. Okay, and they have some tips and tricks on there for remote learning. So you can take a look there. One of them that has really like made it big, like a lot of students were like, oh, I started doing that. Like they really loved it, was like the sticky notes on, I think it's Apple, like Apple computers, but I think you can download an app for it. Is that correct, Riley? I saw you nodding your head. Do you know?
I was thinking like actual sticky notes because I found that I used sticky notes all over my house once quarantine hit, but I don't know about
Right.
the electronic ones.
Oh, that's okay. So I could tell you a little bit about it. Andrea, she actually is the one who posted this. You can see it on our Instagram page. But she loves sticky notes as well. And one of the things that she realized is a great way to keep herself organized was by using the sticky note feature on her Apple computer, on her Apple laptop. So that was one of the things. But I also think you can download an app for for PCs. So I'm pretty positive that you can do that. But it's really, really helpful. And a lot of students seem to really like it. It was kind of cool how that one blew up. But there's definitely that. And there's a lot of other tips and tricks that you can see that we have online as well. So I highly recommend that you go look at those. Especially because it's going to be a lifesaver. If you can just write it down, make sure you're seeing it and looking at it, that's great. I highly recommend that you also follow us on Instagram if you have a social media presence. We do post a lot of great things on our Canvas page, which you will all be put into. So we do have like the Summer Bridge page, but we also have our Puerta Canvas page. And that all of you will be input into that once Summer Bridge is over, okay? And then from there, you're able to do the discussions, you're able to see what we have going on, what announcements are out. So we always make sure we do announcements, especially for scholarships or for DACA, or for making sure that our students are doing financial aid work, all those things. So we do our reminders and whatnot on there, and you will receive emails. So you will be receiving a lot of emails, you'll be getting a lot of notifications. So the other thing I want to make sure, and this goes with everything, including the email etiquette, please do not use your personal email address, okay? Especially if it's like Carmen Rules. You don't want to use that. You want to use your SSU email for everything. That is your new life source, okay? You want to make sure, one, it's professional, okay? That email is professional. So you can use it for jobs. You can use it for whatever. It's a good email to use. Secondly, it's a great way for your professors and for your advisor to keep track of you because it is linked to your entire account, which is great. So I can easily look up things, just by looking at that email address and knowing the name. There are a lot of different ways. It's a good way to keep everything that you do professionally and academically related together. So make sure you're doing that. Okay. All right, cool. So now, let's see.
I also wanted to say, like, don't get discouraged if your professors aren't emailing back professionally, because sometimes that happens, but you gotta just like keep putting your best foot forward, even if they're not putting theirs forward. Because I've definitely spent like a while composing a phenomenal email, and then like my professor emailed back like a minute later, okay, Mike, sent from my iPhone. So don't get discouraged. Just keep on pushing and putting your best foot forward because that's all you can do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Riley. So the next thing that did
Sorry,
somebody
I
want
wanted
to say
to
something?
add. Yeah, I wanted to add to that. I had a professor who preferred to be contacted through text, and I found it was the exact same thing where I would send a really like, okay, if you want to be texted, I will text you, but then it was something very, very like well worded, and like I would even have my roommate check. I'm like, this sounds good, right? And then she would send back smiley face, rainbow emoji, you're awesome, smiley face, rainbow emoji, and that was it. That was the whole response to like my question or whatever. So you might get a mixed bag of professors, but like as long as you are presenting yourself well, then hopefully you will get the respect that you are trying to send forward.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great thing, Bella. Thank you for bringing that up, especially because like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm notorious for pet names. It's gonna be a rarity if I'm like, oh, actually call you by your name. If I don't give you a nickname, it's always sweetie, baby, like, oh, okay, thanks, love. Like I say it all the time. I say it to everybody. So it's just how I operate. I have a very kind of gushy way of talking. And sometimes I do that well in a more casual setting. When I get to know students, I will become a little bit more casual, but that also depends. When it comes to email though, email is, you always want to think about, or at least this is how I think of it, if some emergency were to happen and somebody had to get into my computer for whatever reason because they needed something that was encrypted in there, and they looked at all my emails, would they look like a 10-year-old girl wrote them? So I think of things like that. I'm like, I kind of want to be considered a professional. I kind of want to make sure my best foot is forward in that regard when it comes to my written work. And that, like I said, a well-written email is more important than an essay. And when I say that, I mean an essay can be edited over and over again. You can draft that. You can have somebody like a tutor help you. You can have me help you. Trust me, bring your papers to me. I would love it. I absolutely love helping students in their writing. You can keep on editing it, but with an email, once you send it, it's gone. Once you send it, you can't do anything. So always keep that in mind. That's why I say that, is because once it's gone, it's gone. But you can always redo your papers. You can always write the drafts. You can always ask a professor even, can I redo that assignment? I don't feel it was my best. I could have done better. And they may be able to give you that second chance. Email is not that way. It is what it is. And it's you, all you. So there's that. Any other final thoughts talking about remote learning, email etiquette, or just understanding kind of the digital realm? No? Okay, great. So we're going to move forward and we're actually going to, I'm going to share my screen again and we're going to go into a couple of other things. Here you go. Okay, cool. So, all right, here we are at our Canvas page, which you all should be very familiar with by now. So some of you have definitely emailed me and emailed your bridge leaders letting us know that you won't be available for class certain days and whatnot that's going on. Please remember, just right under here, you absolutely want to make sure you're always touching base with your faculty members as well. Their emails are here and their drop-in hours via Zoom are here as well. So definitely make sure you're keeping in contact with them, okay? And then the other thing I want to show you is if we go to modules, okay? So modules, as you know, we have a lot of our schedule, and you can always take a look at the schedule just to make sure that you're being up to date on what's happening with each day. One of the things I want to point you to with the schedule is this. So here we are today, it's Wednesday, and you're going to be going into your reading and writing classes and then your quantitative reasoning. You have, we have coming up every day at 1 o'clock, we will have a new affinity cultural group. And today it looks like we have our Pacific Asian Islander Faculty and Staff Association along with BASU. So I highly recommend that you go there, meet allies, understand a little bit more about a different cultural group or heritage from yourself, and just get to know people. I hope that all of you were at Alianza yesterday and met ya. That was really great. And then later on, it looks like you're going to be doing for your modules, for your own time, you're going to be doing learning about the hub. You're going to be learning about IT, which is our Information and Technology Department, LARC, which is our Learning and Tutoring Department. We have the library and McNair. So those are the things that you're going to be learning about today and prepping for. I highly recommend that you research the hub. The hub is a really great place to discuss the diversity and just the community of people coming together from different walks of life, and they really help students to understand themselves and others, and they do all kinds of great training on that intersectionality piece. Now, when I say intersectionality, how many of you know what that means? Raise your hand. Okay, that's what I thought. Intersectionality is a really big thing. Intersectionality, you can think of it as a web. So you belong to a bunch of different groups. You belong to a bunch of different identity groups, meaning, for instance, for example, I'm a woman. I identify as a woman, and then if I want to go further, I identify as a cisgender woman. My physical gender matches what I present, okay? That's what cisgender means. And if I want to go further, I'm also a mixed Latina woman. So I am of Puerto Rican, Mexican, and Caucasian descent, okay? So we have these different mixes that make up who we are. So when we're talking about what life is like for a woman, well, I don't know what life is like for a woman. I know what life is like for a cisgendered Puerto Rican, Mexican, white woman. I know what that's like because I am me and I have these different intersectionalities within me, okay? So that's what intersectional means. It's almost like the crossing and pairing of who you are, okay? Things would be different for me if I were male. Things would be different for me if I was not cisgender. Things would be different for me if I was not a person of color, or if I was a person of a different ethnicity, if I were a Black woman, if I were a mixed Black woman. Also, there's different, as you may know, and as you're going to probably experience, the color of your skin, race actually does play a lot in your privilege. So not only that am I a mixed Latina woman, but I'm also lighter skinned. There's a difference there. There's an absolute difference, and it's our job to work through those differences and see each other as equal and make sure that we have equitable ground to stand on. But we only do that if we understand who we are and where we come from. And then we can understand others. By going and learning about the hub, you can learn a little bit more about what that means. You can learn a little bit more about what it means. You may not be able to identify completely with someone of a different race or gender, but maybe you can help and empathize with the oppression they feel because you felt it too in your own way, or something rather. You can absolutely go to that wonderful place and learn more about other people and show that you're an ally and show what that means, because it's the only way that we're really going to fight that. So I want to make sure that you are very aware that the hub is a really great place and you should learn a little bit more about it. Also, always coming to CASE, we do quite a bit of workshops on these types of topics if you're interested in learning more about them. And also your bridge leaders are really great resources, and the things that they're learning and their understanding of what intersectionality is and the hub and how to address issues or identity questions around just gender and sexuality or race and ethnicity, culture and background. So all those things. The hub is a really great place to do that. And it sounds like Riley has some information that she can absolutely, or that they can share, things like that. So there's some wonderful things out there that you can do. And so that's really great. And then also there's LARC to help with that whole tutoring piece. And I really do want to talk a little bit about that as well before we go. So LARC has something called 99T. 99T is a 1-unit elective course that you can take. And all it is really is you signing up to get writing tutoring help. That's what it is. And it's really great. And I think a lot of students come into the university thinking like, I don't need help. Like, I made it, which is totally fine. More power to you. You do what you got to do, y'all. But everybody needs help. I'm here to tell you, everybody needs help, and nobody is a fantastic writer out the gate. Everybody writes shitty first drafts. Just end of story. Everybody. There isn't a single person that doesn't. So I'd highly recommend that you watch everything about LARC. Make sure that you're doing everything that you need. LARC is amazing. It is so helpful. It's a great little community of people who love to write and who want to support students and really get your voices heard. So those are some really key pieces. It looks like we have about a minute left. And with that, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I really wanted to show you or that maybe we had on the agenda. Let's see. Okay, so Redwood Credit Union, a financial literacy piece. So you are going to be doing something with financial literacy tomorrow, and I just want to show you or talk to you a little bit about that. So Redwood Credit Union module is going to be going through different sections of how to budget your money, what it means to have a credit card, and I highly recommend that you look at that one. I don't know how many friends I had when we were like 19 who opened up their first credit card and screwed up their whole credit. So definitely make sure that you're looking at those modules and you're doing the work there. But they're going to help you to be financially sound and stable. So looking at your financial aid award, think about Redwood Credit Union when you're doing this so you can really understand what it means to actually have your own money and your own money coming in, and how do you budget that? What do you need to do for that? Okay, any questions? Okay, all right, everybody. Well, I think that's it for me today. And if you have any questions or if you need to contact me, please just email me and we will talk it over, whatever it is that you need. Again, if you are going to be absent for good reason, please make sure you email the Summer Bridge email and you CC me on it, okay? And then always notifying your bridge leaders if you need anything, if you have any questions and whatnot, all right? All right, y'all, so that was advising today. No, I did a lot of talking. Hopefully tomorrow we can all be a little bit more chatty. I know it's early, but drink your coffee. You'll be fine, okay? All right, everybody. Great seeing you. Adore you all. And have a great day in your classes, your academic pieces. Oh, also, talent show on Friday. Yay! I hope you all like do it or at least go because I'm really, really excited. And if we get enough people, maybe I'll even show you a magic trick. So we'll have to see. Okay, bye everybody. I'll talk to you later.